-1 at 7:33. Good morning, everyone. Health officials in Alberta and BC are trying to figure out if enterovirus D68, a respiratory illness, is linked to polio-like symptoms in 6 children, 4 of them here in Calgary. The 4 kids in our city are at the Children's Hospital right now. All 4 have a respiratory infection, also paralysis. What we do not know yet is if the children are sick with enterovirus D68. Right now, there are 29 confirmed cases of the virus in Calgary, a total of 50 in Alberta. The virus is creeping across North America, hospitalizing thousands of children in 4 provinces and at least 41 different states. The first death linked to enterovirus D68 is in Rhode Island. Most people who get sick with enterovirus D68 experience common cold-like symptoms, but if your child starts showing signs of muscle weakness or has difficulty breathing, then you should be contacting and seeing a doctor right away. Alberta is gearing up for flu season again. An ambitious plan this year to almost double the number of people getting a flu shot. Alberta is ordering more than 2 million doses, hoping 45% of people in the province will roll up their sleeves. Free flu shots will begin October 20th in public health clinics and in a number of pharmacies and doctors' offices. Last year, about 25% of people, 1 out of every 4 Albertans, did get a flu vaccine. Patients arriving at Calgary's Rocky View Hospital last week had to wait up to 9 hours to be seen by a doctor. The problem? Not enough beds. Premier Jim Prentice says he's all too familiar with the need for long-term acute care, and he promises to fix it. Prentice says even his own mother spent several years in and out of hospital, occupying beds that could have been used by other patients.
We see this as one of the critical blockages in the system, and we have to deal with it.
Actions speak louder than words, and this government has shown that they have not been able to meet Albertans' expectations.
Prentice says he wants to open 450 continuing care beds by the end of March. He says eventually increasing that number to 2,000 will ease the crunch in emergency rooms. It's now 7:35. A notorious Calgary sex offender is back behind bars this morning and is due in court soon. Eric Wanamaker under arrest for 17 alleged breaches of probation. Among the allegations, Wanamaker accessing the internet in his home. Wanamaker has a long list of sexual assault convictions. Most recently in 2011, Wanamaker sentenced to 2 years in jail, 3 years probation for possessing and accessing child pornography. Back in 1992, he was convicted of sexually molesting a young girl, getting 11 years behind bars. We're going to find out a lot more this morning about what police are calling a massive steroid bust in Edmonton. This is what we know so far. Alert, the Alberta Law Enforcement Response Team seizing more than $10 million worth of drugs. The bust involving more than 350,000 pills, 10,000 vials, and about 3 dozen different types of chemical additives. A news conference is scheduled for 11 a.m. It's believed this seizure is the largest illegal steroid bust ever by a Canadian police agency. Time to focus on business. Oil starting today at a level we have not seen in more than a year. Business editor Mike Eppel joining us live from Toronto this morning. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, good morning, Ted. We're looking at oil now below $89 per barrel. It was below 88 earlier. It has been dropping substantially here over the past several trading days. The latest indication that U.S. oil output this year on pace for its highest since the mid-1980s. We've talked a lot about China seeing less demand. Global demand for energy is actually down. What with, you hear the economic signals out of the Eurozone, for example, not good. We heard more of that from the head of the European Central Bank this morning. China's slowing down, so the oil market right now oversupplied, a little bit less demand, has major implications for what we've been seeing on the Canadian financial markets as well, with the energy sector of stock very hard hit over the past several trading days. We're tracking shares of CP Rail as the company is coming off a day that actually saw its stock price decline. Haven't talked like that very often this year because CP Rail consistently has been a big winner on the Toronto market, but yesterday it was down $9, back to $222 after hitting a record earlier in the week. This even as the company is holding a 2-day investor conference in White Plains, New York, talking about its prospects. They're looking at huge revenue growth potential over the next several years. They want to speed up their trains and deliveries and really factor and grow the business, targeting more deliveries that are currently done by the trucking industry. So we're keeping an eye on CP Rail. It's still been a very good performer this year. The U.S. owner of Sears Canada, Sears Holdings, selling its majority stake back basically to the open market, saying it wants to raise money to help the Sears U.S. operations in time for the ever-important holiday shopping season. Just leads to more uncertainty about the Sears Canada operations. They're currently in the search for a new CEO. And WestJet just got a news release from WestJet saying that they're going to make a destination announcement tomorrow morning in Halifax. Seems like a fairly big event for the company. A number of local dignitaries will be involved in that. We'll be seeing if that has any implication for WestJet stock. The TSX opening the day lower. It's been down now for 9 of the past 10 trading days. The so-called autumn fall for stocks is in full effect right now. Ted, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Mike Eppel chatting with us from 680 News in Toronto. You can hear Mike on 660 News in Calgary at 26 and 56 after the hour.